3 days after I buried my husband, a stranger called me with a shocking warning. My husband was alive, and I could not trust my own sister. I thought it was a cruel joke until I opened an old office door and saw Marcus standing there. The man I had mourned was alive. Marcus explained that he had faked his death after discovering the truth about my grandmother Helen. She had not died naturally. She had been murdered for her family fortune. Helen had raised my sister Jenna and me. Before she died, she discovered thousands of dollars missing from her family trust. The money was connected to Jenna and her fiancé Tyler. When Helen confronted Jenna, she warned her to leave Tyler and return the money. Instead, Jenna accused Helen of always loving me more. Helen then changed her will, leaving most of the trust to me. She also added a condition that anyone involved in a crime against her would lose their inheritance. That decision made her a target. Marcus discovered that Dr. Nathan Mercer, a doctor connected to Tyler, had secretly changed Helen medication. The new medication interacted dangerously with her heart condition and made her death look natural. 3 days later, Mercer received a huge payment from an offshore account. Then Marcus found messages between Jenna and Tyler discussing Helen's death and the money they expected to inherit. After Marcus started investigating, he received threats. Someone even left a note beside my photograph warning that I would be next. So Marcus disappeared and staged his death with help from Detective Rachel Chen. While I mourned him, he secretly helped police build a case, but Rachel needed one final thing: a confession. I returned home and pretended to be a broken widow. Jenna moved in, while Tyler began pressuring me to sign documents giving them control of my money. I secretly recorded everything. Soon I discovered their real plan. After gaining control of my finances, they intended to make me disappear just like Helen. Rachel prepared fake legal documents, and on the signing day, I sat across from Jenna and Tyler, pretending to be frightened. Mentioned Helen, then the stolen money, then her. Medication, Tyler became furious and told me to stop asking questions, so I gave them the one thing they never expected. Marcus is alive. Jenna went completely pale. Tyler stared at me, then lost control. He admitted Marcus had become a problem because he knew too much. He admitted Helen had refused to cooperate, so they had dealt with her. Then he threatened to do the same to me. The doors suddenly opened. Detective Chen and the police rushed inside. Tyler was arrested. Jenna was arrested for conspiracy and fraud. Dr. Mercer was arrested soon afterward and confessed to changing Helen medication for money. Months later, the case went to trial. The recordings were played. Bank records were shown. Medical evidence proved Helen's death was planned. Mercer testified against Tyler. Tyler was convicted of murder, attempted murder, conspiracy, and fraud, and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Jenna received 20 years. Dr. Mercer received 12 years and lost his medical license forever. Weeks later, Marcus and I received Helen's new death certificate. The old one said natural causes. The new one said homicide. I stared at that single word and realized it could never bring Helen back. But it finally corrected the lie. That evening, Marcus and I stood beside her grave. He apologized for making me believe he was dead. I told him I was still angry, but I was grateful he was alive. I had buried my husband believing I had lost everything. Instead, I found the truth. My sister had betrayed me. Tyler had tried to destroy me. They thought money would give them everything, but they lost their freedom, their future, and the secret they had killed to protect. And I learned something I will never forget. Sometimes the person smiling beside you is the person hiding the biggest betrayal. They tried to bury Helen with their secrets, but the truth refused to stay buried. I had buried my husband believing I had lost everything. Instead, I found the truth. My sister had betrayed me, Tyler had tried to destroy me, and they were willing to kill for money. But in the end, they lost their freedom, their future, and the secret they had sacrificed everything to protect. Standing beside Helen's grave with Marcus holding my hand, I finally understood that some truths may be buried for a while, but they never stay buried forever. Sometimes, the greatest revenge is simply surviving the people who tried to destroy you, rebuilding the life they thought they had taken away, and watching them lose everything they were willing to kill for. And as I walked away from Helen's grave with Marcus beside me, I knew one thing for certain. They tried to bury the truth with her, but in the end, the truth buried them.